正解
Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage, Chapter 218. Leaving, Shen Miao and Zi Jingxing were good, thus the entire residence of Prince Ruai seemed to have released a long sigh of relief. What was a blessing in disguise was that not only they reconciled, they seemed to have begun sleeping in the same room. This was simply beyond everyone's expectations. Tang Shu was the happiest and would brew daily some tiger whip or deer whip soup for Zi Jingxing to drink and would often make Shen Miao speechless when she saw it. Zi Jingxing started to investigate the matters of the Yi family, but the strange thing was that Yi Mai and her younger brother were indeed citizens and grew up in Great Liang. The life that they lived in Qin province was not even a little inaccurate. Shen Miao did not know why was it like that, and later only thought that since she had relived this life, she had changed many things inadvertently, just like Fu Ziyu Yi's luck and just like the identities of Mai Furan and younger brother. But no matter what changes there was one thing that would not change. Yi Mai was her enemy in the previous lifetime and had entered the Yi family in this lifetime. The opposite position was not changed at all. Pei Lang's injuries gradually got better. Shen Miao went to take a look once, but she did not enter the room and just took a look from afar. Seeing that he could drink the medication himself, she then left. Shen Miao had complicated feelings towards Pei Lang, but Pei Lang most likely did not know about the matters in the past life, and her knowledge of the past life matters made her unable to face the other in a calm attitude. Thus she could maintain such a distance like this. Zi Jingxing was however very satisfied with this and said that she was much more sensible than she used to be. He took the opportunity to reward her and seemed to replenish all the times that was not done since before they consummate the marriage. He had made Shen Miao unable to stay awake, like she was haunted by a male ghost. The situation in Longyi had looked like it was stabilized, but the whirlpool of fighting was not something that others could imagine. After the imperial hunt, Emperor Yongle had started to pull the net that was cast on the Lu family, and the Lu family was busy dealing with the imperial family. Thus Zi Jingxing became much busier. Naturally Shen Miao could not relax as the letters from Ming Qi had arrived. Lu Zuyan had sent letters to Shen Miao. There were 2 letters in it. One was written by Lu Zuyan, indicating that they were all well and repeatedly telling Shen Miao that if she suffered any grievances in Longyi, she must not swallow it into her stomach and write to them about it. She also urged her strongly to have mutual respect with Zi Jingxing and support one another. Then she asked about the situation at Shen Miao's side. The other letter was written by Shen Kaiyu. In Shen Kaiyu's letter, it was not the same of that of Lu Zuyan's. When Shen Miao married, she had spoken about some things to Shen Kaiyu, and even though she did not outright spoke of it, she had hinted Shen Kaiyu to be wary of the imperial family of Ming Qi, as the imperial family of Ming Qi was a sinking mud and the Shen family have to protect oneself. No matter what methods were used, one had to always draw a clear relationship with the imperial family, otherwise one would be dragged in together and sink to the bottom of the mud. If it was necessary, the Shen family's clean reputation should be abandoned and the priority was their lives. This time Shen Kaiyu wrote about the situation in Ming Qi in his letter. Upon calculation, it was more than half a year since Shen Miao left Ding capital. The situation in Ding capital was at the verge of change, and there would be many changes on a daily basis, let alone half a year. But this change made one caught unprepared. Emperor Wenhua was seriously ill. First it was cough, then the illness got worse, and now it had gotten to the point where one would not be able to attend court. Even if he attended court occasionally, there was a lack of energy and would call it off after listening to some words. One did not know for what reasons. There were even rumors in the palace that Emperor Wenhua was at his end, and one feared that he would not last for a year. When Shen Miao saw that line, she only laughed. Could Emperor Wenhua only live for a year? Shen Miao did not believe it, as Emperor Wenhua did not die this early in the past live. Of course, it was difficult to see if there were any suspicious circumstances to Emperor Wenhua's death. Ming Qi's imperial family was intricately complicated, and relationships between the princes were not as simple as in Longyi. For one person to ascend, there would be many people sacrificing, so what more could an imperial father be? In the letter, Shen Qiu had mentioned that Emperor Wenhua was seriously ill, but one did not know why he made it difficult for his previously favorite consort Zhu Xian. Consort Zhu Xian was demoted to the rank of Garan, and not only that, the emperor was angered by the entire Zhu family, which implicated the two brothers, Prince Zhu and Prince Jing. These two brothers no longer manage any court matters at the moment, and Shen Qiu had no knowledge of the specifics. In short, Consort Zhu Xian together with Prince Zhu and Prince Jing has lost favor. In the fight of the heir apparent, Prince Zhu and Prince Jing seem to have fallen behind, and Prince Li's fraction unprecedentedly had good relations with Prince Ting. Prince Li's fraction was a side that had power in the fight of the heir apparent, and Prince Ting, Fu Ziyu, did not have any relationship with them, so to have good relations at this moment, there was something wrong if one think about it. What was more suspicious was that in this fraction, Prince Li actually had some faint intention of letting Prince Ting lead. After writing till here, Shen Qiu's words became somewhat sloppy. It was obvious that his mood was not calm at all. It was alright, as in summary, it meant that currently in Ding capital, between those princes, the most popular was Fu Ziyu, who once had no desire or needs. Moreover, Fu Ziyu's consort mother, Consort Dong Shu, had become Emperor Wenhua's support that did not leave his side. When Emperor Wenhua was seriously ill, the one that he doted on was the one that was closest to him, so some people guessed that with this trend, even though there was no crown prince, Emperor Wenhua was very likely to pass the imperial throne to Prince Ting, Fu Ziyu. Thus a wave of officials turned towards Fu Ziyu's side. No matter it was because of their own intentions or outside forces, no matter how one looked, Fu Ziyu had become the future monarch of Mingqi. And Fu Ziyu gradually began to deal with the Shen family. The Shen family's military power had been collected by Emperor Wenhua previously, but Fu Ziyu wanted to give Shenzhen new military powers so that both father and son can lead a new army. No matter how one see it, it was a pit that Fu Ziyu clearly dug up for the Shen family to jump. If it was not done properly, one would have fallen into Fu Ziyu's trap. Shen Qiu wrote in the letter that currently the Shen family was using the reason of Shenzhen had fallen ill to not accept the military power, but one did not know how long could this reason be used, because since Fu Ziyu wanted to deal with the Shen family, he would not only use one type of method. It was fortunate that the Shen family was not completely helpless, as Fu Ziyu's spearhead was also directed to the Feng family, which was Feng and Ning's family. The Feng family and the Shen family planned to join forces and combined with other Mingqi's officials. It was enough for self-protection. However, there were some words of a loss in his words. He seemed to be sighing that for the Shen family, who had been loyal for generations, to end up being in a situation of mutual suspicion with the imperial family. After Shen Miao read the letter, she folded it up and was somewhat worried. Zi Jingxing read it with her just now, and upon seeing her worried expression, he asked, "You are very worried?" Fu Ziyu has started to deal with the Shen family. Shen Miao said seriously, "The speed that he pick up the matter is too quick, that in less than a year, there isn't anyone who could compete with him." Prince Zhu and Prince Jing was initially so arrogant, but now even Consort Zhu Xian is declining, and Prince Li was actually submitted to him. Shen Miao said, "His means and methods are truly not simple." Even though she had long knew that Fu Ziyu had become Mingqi's emperor the last lifetime, but there was no Shen family this lifetime, he could still turn around an undesirable situation, and this made Shen Miao felt that the Shen family's arrangement was too rash, and perhaps she had underestimated the enemy. It is not strange. Zi Jingxing smiled. In order to win, he had started preparing so many years ahead. Even though Prince Zhu and Prince Jing have the advantage, but they were late in the decisive opportunity. One need not talk about Prince Li, as he does not have the maternal family's support and simply not comparable. But why does he want to target the Shen family? Shen Miao frowned. Reasonably speaking, since the Shen family do not have any military power, there would not be any threat to him. Just like the current residents of the Marquis of Linan, he did not deal with the residents of the Marquis of Linan but does not let the Shen family off. Fu Ziyi would not waste time of meaningless things, so why bother to suppress the Shen family, when it was considered as non-necessary moves? Zi Jingxing muttered to himself, perhaps because of you, me? Shen Miao looked at him. You have married to Great Liang, and Fu Ziyi was suspicious about the relationship between you and me, thinking that Great Liang is the Shen family's backing. After returning to Longyi, I have instructed people to monitor Fu Ziyi's movement and discovered that he is investigating everything about me in the residence of the Marquis of Linen and perhaps knew of my identity. There might be misunderstanding between the relationship between the Shen family and me, and thought that the Shen family had already sought shelter with Great Liang, or perhaps he has other plans. He spoke after pausing. Fu Ziyi's means are vicious and extreme, and he is suspicious by nature. Thus, once he discover that something is not right, he would definitely cut the weeds and eliminate the roots. Once he feel a little uneasy with the Shen family, he would spare no effort to eradicate them. This I understand. Shen Miao's gaze became slightly cold. Even at the end of her previous life, Fu Ziyi would clean the first household out because of the military power of the Shen family, but you need not have to worry. Zi Jingxing pinched her face. I have made arrangements in Ding capital. No matter what, one has the ability to protect your family's safety. You have long made arrangements? Shen Miao asked. Why did you not tell me earlier? Zi Jingxing said, is credit needed for this kind of thing? That is also my family, so how would I let them stay in Ding capital without any arrangements made? When Shen Miao heard Zi Jingxing spoke that is also my family, her heart seemed to have tasted sweet honey, and there was a slight smile in her eyes before she said, speaking of which, I did not expect that the Feng family would join hands in alliance with eldest brother. In the beginning, in order not to let Feng and Ning repeat the mistakes in the previous lifetime, she specially reminded Shen Kaiyu to help watch over the Feng family, but one did not know how such relations were formed. However, from how this looks, it seemed that Feng and Ning would not be like the past lifetime, marrying that older Biao brother with a gilded exterior but shabby and ruined on the inside. There is still one matter that I want to speak to you about. Zi Jingxing's face suddenly became serious. Fu Ziyi has some secret contacts with the Emperor of Qin country. Shen Miao was startled and asked, to borrow soldiers? Once speaking of this matter, Shen Miao was reminded of the 5 years that she was in Qin country as a hostage. Now that Fu Ziyi was not married, could it be that he found another hostage? It is possible that some agreement has been reached privately, and the most likely was that the land would be divided. Zi Jingxing said. Shen Miao frowned. Is it to help him to gain the heir apparent? But by borrowing the power of foreign country, there would be a lot of future implications, so Fu Ziyi need not be like that. Zi Jingxing's eyes sank. To deal with Great Liang. Shen Miao looked towards him. They want to deal with Great Liang? This is craziness. Even though the strength would be much stronger when Mingqi and Qin country joined forces, but Great Liang's strength was obvious, thus both sides would suffer loss. After enjoying peace for so many years, why would one take the initiative to provoke a dispute? This is the temperament of unable to tolerate a thorn in one side. Zi Jingxing laughed. Furthermore, Longyi is slightly in disorder due to the Lu and Yi family, thus they have an opportunity and would not let it go. Shen Miao thought about Zi Jingxing's words for the moment and said, you are right, there would be such a day sooner or later. It was just that to start a war now is not a good opportunity for Great Liang now. You don't have to worry. Zi Jingxing pat her head. Leave these things to me. I am also the Wang Pei of the residence of Prince Ruai. Shen Miao glared at him as she was extremely dissatisfied with his words. Zi Jingxing looked at her calmly and unruffled in the midst of chaos. Oh, don't one suffer losses from being an empress to a Wang Pei? One has already suffered from it, so what use is there to speak about it now? Shen Miao snorted. Zi Jingxing still wanted to speak, but Hua Xiang knocked the door outside and he called her in. When Hua Xiang saw Shen Miao and looked at Zi Jingxing again, there was some expression of at a loss in her eyes. Do you have something to say to me? Shen Miao looked at her unfathomably. If there is something, just speak of it directly. This meant to say that Zi Jingxing's presence did not matter. Hua Xiong said, "Today at noon, Gentleman Pei wanted to go out to walk, and the servants remembered that Gentleman Jiao said that it is beneficial for Gentleman Pei's wounds to walk around as long as it was not far. Gentleman Pei wanted to be alone, so the servants did not think much to it. He usually would walk around the doors for a while before returning, but he did not return today after one waited till it is dark." Shen Miao frowned. Something happened? Pei Lang did not have martial arts skills, and if one meet with any danger during the journey, he would not have any way to protect himself. This servant also thought so. Hua Xiong said, "But Ba Zhao found this on the table of Gentleman Pei's room." She then took a letter-like thing from her sleeves and passed it to Shen Miao before speaking. Only some of Gentleman Pei's things and clothes were missing from the room. If this servant does not guess incorrectly, Gentleman Pei should have left. Shen Miao was just about to open up the letter when she paused. Zi Jingxing's expression also slightly changed. "Did he say anything before he left?" Shen Miao asked Hua Xiong. "He did not say anything and behaved like usual. He also said that the weather is good today." Hua Xiong said. Shen Miao was somewhat baffled when Zi Jingxing said, "Take a look at the letter and what it says." He was about to get up to leave when Shen Miao held onto his sleeves. Zi Jingxing turned back and Shen Miao said, "Let's see it together." Zi Jingxing stepped, paused, and after thinking about it, he sat down again, but there was a trace of a smile on his lips. After opening up the letter, Pei Lang's handwriting appeared in front. Pei Lang's words were as clear as his person, and there was an elegant style of those famous scholars. He also looked like one, but made one hard to imagine how such an elegant person would become mixed into the battle for power. At the beginning of the letter, it spoke of how long he had been in the residence of Prince Ruian, that he had brought a lot of trouble to the residence of Prince Ruian, thanking the couple for offering shelter to him. He then hoped that Shen Miao would keep her promise and settle the latter half of Liu Ying's life. Pei Lang also wrote that even though he followed Shen Miao to Longyi, it was only an interim plan, and it was because of Fu Ziyu that he had nowhere to hide and thus came to Longyi. However, to continue staying in the residence of Prince Ruai, there would be many inconveniences. He has his plans and prepared to travel around for the rest of his life to increase his knowledge, and thus parted without saying goodbye. Because he had some teacher and student relationship with Shen Miao and afterwards have some friendship, he had arranged some information for Shen Miao, as he knew about some Prince Ding's matter when he was staying in the residence of Prince Ding and knew that Shen Miao had been guarding against Prince Ding. He hoped that in the future it would be of use to Shen Miao. When this letter was handed to Shen Miao, their relationship would be considered clean and clear. No one owed the other, and Pei Lang wrote that one did not know if there would be another opportunity to see one another, thus he could only say take care of oneself. Pei Lang wrote this letter extremely simple, and there seemed not to be special. One did not know if it was deliberately done to make clear of the relationship with Shen Miao, and it was even detached and polite when one read between the lines. It was just like one had returned to when one was a teacher and student in Guangwentang. There was another piece of paper in the letter, and it was filled with all the information on Fu Ziyu. Some was about his confidence, some was related to his plans, some was on the future steps that would be taken and people to be won over. Zi Jingxing originally swept a look casually with Shen Miao towards the piece of paper, but upon reading the back, his expression could not help but become serious. There was nothing but information on Fu Ziyu, and as such, there seemed to be almost no secret that Fu Ziyu had in front of them, and everyone was revealed. With this, it was like grabbing onto a snake at where it hurts and drilled in one's heart step by step. Zi Jingxing said, "How could he know this much?" Even if Pei Lang was a spy by Zi Jingxing's side, and even with Fu Ziyu's previous trust with him, it was not possible for him to trust him to such a level. Moreover, the spies that Fu Ziyu embedded in the deepest of places were all written out by Pei Lang. The details provided was like he was a favored confidant that followed for many years and knew one's master's matters like the palm of one's hands. Shen Miao's fingertips was somewhat shaking. Some of the matters inside would only occur a few years later. Even at this moment, Fu Ziyi did not encounter these people yet, so how would Pei Lang have any knowledge of them? Unless Pei Lang had the memory of the previous lifetime, then he would be able to know Fu Ziyi's future confidants and chess pieces and also future plans. When did Pei Lang have that knowledge? He previously did not know anything. Could it be? Shen Miao's heart moved. It was because of the assassination during Zi Jingxing's birthday that she dreamed about her previous lifetime. Could it be that Pei Lang was also the same? She looked at Hu Xiang. Is there any difference with Gentleman Pei these days? Differences? Hu Xiang thought carefully before replying. There seemed to be no difference. He would often be in a daze when sitting and one do not know what he was thinking. However, Gentleman Pei's previous personality was quiet, thus he was also the same when he is recovering from his injuries. Shen Miao was unable to make up her mind and wanted to ask Pei Lang if he knew about the matters of the past lifetime. Pei Lang was the person that followed Fu Ziyi the longest and naturally knew Fu Ziyi the most. But just as she wanted to speak, she stopped. So what about that? If Pei Lang really remembered the past lifetime, just like how Shen Miao was not able to face Pei Lang definitely had no idea how to face her. Both of them were not considered sworn enemies, but also not friends who could trust each other with their hearts. There were blood debts between them, but they were all personally paid off. In the depths of the palace, there were times where matters were not of one's own volition, but it was indeed one's mistakes. One could not take it as though nothing had happened, but also could not state things clearly. When Zi Jingxing saw her uncertain look, he asked, "Need me to instruct people to bring him back?" Shen Miao recovered to her senses. No need. Since he wants to live his own life, then let him be. Since seeing one another would lead to fights, it was better not to meet. It was good that Pei Lang left like this. She held that piece of paper and her eyes became serious. When Zi Jingxing saw it, he said, "The things that are written, it is real." Shen Miao said, "One have to pass this to eldest brother. We are not in Ding capital, so it is not easy to take action when holding this. Handing this over to eldest brother and father, they would be able to play by the ear. With this, the Shen family will at least have some more chips on hand." After that she said with difficulty, "But this is very valuable. If this was being robbed during the journey back to Mingqi, let the Moyun army do it." Zi Jingxing said it heedlessly. The Moyun army has been sending letters for so many years and have not been intercepted. Shen Miao's heart felt slightly safer, but before she could speak, Pei Lang's letter that was in her hands was taken away by Zi Jingxing. Zi Jingxing threw the letter aside intentionally and said, "It is late. Time to rest." "How is it late?" Shen Miao said curiously. "The skies just got dark." She then said, "Even though there is no need to bring Gentleman Pei back, one have to at least ensure his safety, else if one is stabbed for no reason or being watched by others." Before the voice land, Shen Miao was carried by Zi Jingxing and thrown onto the bed. As he got nearer to her, he spoke darkly, "Try caring about Pei Lang again." Shen Miao. In the palace, in the imperial gardens, the lotus were blooming beautifully in the summer that the green lotus leaves almost filled the entire pond. Empress Xianda sat in the pavilion, and although there was no moon today, there were stars and the water was clear and crystalline, making it a wonderful scene. She instructed people to brew some tea as it was apartment to drink a little during summer. Tao Gugu stood behind her and smiled. "The lotus blossoms really well this year." Empress Xianda took a glance and smiled. Last year one had instructed them to change the breeds, thus this year, it grew much more prosperous. She also said, "It is also cooling in the summer." Just as she was speaking, one could see someone walking over from afar and seemingly saw Empress Xianda and the few of them before slightly pausing in their movements and headed towards this pavilion. It was only when one walked nearer, could one see clearly that this person was not others but Consort Jing. Compared to the previous arrogant and heavily dressed Consort Jing, the current Consort Jing looked like she was in tough straits. Or one should not say it was only today. Lately Consort Jing's situation had not been good and she had no mood to pay attention to her clothes and appearance, thus there were some tiredness in the usually beautiful face of hers. However, when seeing Empress Xianda, that fatigue turned into hatred in a moment. She said, One saw someone from afar and was thinking who had such good spirits. So it is the Empress. Empress Xianda smiled non-committally. Ben Gong is drinking tea here. Does Consort Jing want to drink a cup? Consort Jing coldly smiled as she stared at her. Older sister has the mood to drink tea but younger sister has no such thoughts. Emperor Yongle had begun to suppress the Lu family, and even though the people of the inner palace did not understand the courts, they could see it through the emperor's attitude. The previously favored consort had fallen to a state where even crying or pleading would not shake the emperor's expression, and that had a deeper meaning to it. Ben Gong do not care if Consort Jing have the thought or not. Empress Xianda smiled and continued to pour a cup of tea. The tea is always here. Consort Jing was so angry that she was somewhat trembling. Lu Furen came into the palace to look for her, saying that Emperor Yongle was dealing with the Lu family and his attitude was one that did not even care about any past relations. She also said that she had the favor of Emperor Yongle, so why was there no effect in blowing wind by one's pillow? She wanted her to inquire and probe Emperor Yongle's intention and if necessary, plead for leniency. But Consort Jing had done it, but it did not help at all. In fact, for so many years, even though Emperor Yongle extremely doted her that in the inner palace, Empress Xianda had to give her some leeway that no matter how arrogant she was, she would always get away with it. However, she had never once changed Emperor Yongle's mind before. Sometimes she would feel that Emperor Yongle seemed to have seen everything and knew that she was deliberately pleasing him, and sometimes Consort Jing felt somewhat shameful. However, there were times where she felt that Emperor Yongle indeed favored her. Now that something happened to the Lu family and needed her, a daughter, to help, so Consort Jing would look for Emperor Yongle, but Emperor Yongle's attitude was ice cold. Consort Jing had been sailing with the wind and currents for an entire lifetime and had not suffered anything. When she entered the palace, she rose to the position of a consort easily due to her Lu family background, and now that the Lu family is in trouble, she also suffered from it. Now she discovered that after so many years, other than antagonizing people and creating unreasonable scenes, she did not do anything else. On the other hand, the Empress Xianda that she was dissatisfied with, could actually sit in a pavilion to drink tea leisurely and unconstrained, and that made Consort Jing's heart filled with resentment. She thought that Emperor Yongle did not love Empress Xianda and that Empress Xianda was only respected by everyone because of the position of the Empress. This was just too unfair. If there was no Empress Xianda blocking, she would become the Empress and Emperor Yongle would not ignore the Lu family and she would not have a headache now. A malicious resentment appeared in Consort Jing's heart. She happened to see that in the pavilion that Empress Xianda was sitting at, there was a ladder near the pavilion to the lake. It was so that it would be convenient to feed the fishes on normal days and it would also look elegant, but it was somewhat dangerous. Consort Jing quietly got closer to Empress Xianda and said, "Older sister has brewed so many years of tea, naturally one knew the rules of brewing tea. However, this younger sister does not like tea as tea is bitter and those who drink it would not be comfortable, so why brew it?" When this sentence was spoken, she shouted Anaya and stumbled and headed towards Empress Xianda. Empress Xianda was sitting near the water, so by knocking onto Empress Xianda, she would fall into the water. What kind of person was Empress Xianda? Consort Jing was stupid, but Empress Xianda was not. This kind of little trick did not even enter her eyes. She had long been wary, and seeing Consort Jing leaning over, she took a step back and avoided Consort Jing. One only heard a blop sound and splashes of water. The palace made by Consort Jing's side shouted out in shock.